Welcome to the Mormon to Medium podcast, where we'll talk about spirituality, the paranormal, religion, and my journey going from Mormon to medium. I'm Nanette Ride. Thanks for listening. Now let's go have some fun.
Don't be afraid. Close your eyes. There's a moon overhead, but the sun will rise.
Hello and welcome to the Mormon to Medium podcast. I'm Brad and I'm here with my beautiful wife, Nanette.
Hello, guys. We're so excited to be back.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but right back to where we started. We want to talk about a few different things. First of all, today, we wanted to hit on the topics of conversation, right? And I know we've talked about it before, Nan, but it seems like, especially with social media outlets, that there is no real conversation anymore.
Isn't it funny they call it social media? It's so antisocial.
Yeah, it's anything except for social. It's one of those things where I want to hear my opinion coming from your mouth. So you need to type exactly what I am thinking. And if you don't, you're my enemy now.
Or I want you to see how perfect I am and how perfect my life is without you really knowing me.
That's a good point, too. There's a lot of that goes on.
There's so much of it. Like, who's real anymore?
And that's kind of the thing, right? Is how do you know what is staged, what is bullshit, what's real? And then you have to ask yourself, why would you want to put your real self out there?
Why not? I mean, what's the point?
Well, what's the point of putting it out on social media anyway? Like, does everyone need to know, hey, I had a great workout today? Why are we putting that on social media?
I think that because we're antisocial, I think that people need to be seen and heard. We're people that need to have people, right? And so if we can have people, even if it's fake, it feels good.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's literally just to get those endorphins. To get the likes, get the,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love this person, or I love their content. That?
I mean, take us, for example. You and I interact everywhere we go with everyone. Like, we'll go to the grocery store and we'll talk to the people in the grocery store. We have been known to pop out bags of Oreos that are a new flavor and open it right in the checkout and have everybody take a taste, because that's who we are. And what kind of endorphins do we have heading back to our car? Like, it's awesome because we're social people. But I think there's a lot of people that are afraid of being social. They're antisocial or shy because the phones are just so easy to, bury your face in, that people just don't talk anymore. People don't have those conversations, whether they're easy or hard. They just don't talk. They don't know how to talk. It's like, let's everybody be fake. Everything's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, and I think you're right. I think before the pandemic, it was really starting to get to that. But after the pandemic, it was even worse because everyone was so isolated, and that was the only way they really communicated. And then you threw the masks on people, and it took away people's identity, really. When you had that mask on, they were just able to just fade away. And I think a lot of people got used to that, and then they became outraged about the littlest things. And it's really a strange phenomenon. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but it might be fun to have somebody with some expertise in that come and explain it to us.
I think we know a couple of them. We could probably just invite. I think it would be a really interesting conversation, though. I think people are hungry for that interaction, and mostly to be seen and heard. And I think a lot of people aren't heard.
Oh, that's true. That makes sense. Well, and you can tell, there's a lot of people who you'll get on the phone with them and they need to talk and they need to be heard. And that's good that they reach out to do that.
Yeah. I love that.
It's important because, like you said, humans are social. It's super important for us to be around people. It's like that Animus show that we were watching, and the infected people left her alone. And she was utterly alone. She thought, okay, this is cool for the first few days. And then eventually she gave up and was like, please come back. Because she needed to have some sort of interaction, even if it was with these weird creatures that weren't truly human anymore.
Right. She just needed something. And humans need the touch. They need the heart connection. They need the exchange of energy. All of it's so important. And then you kind of mix that cute little ego in there too. I think that that's why people want you to think the way that they think and make it easy for them, instead of making me think. I think that's something that Charlie Kirk did really, really well. He would meet with people and have conversations, even hard ones, which people like shy away from. But I think, especially now, we need to start having hard conversations. It's okay to not agree with each other, but it's not okay not to listen.
Well, and I think people have forgotten how to disagree agreeably. We should be able to say, you know what, Nan, I don't really buy off on that. And that's okay. I know you do, and that's how you believe, but I don't believe that way. And guess what? We can still be friends.
Right.
Rather than going, I don't believe that way. And if you do believe this way, then you are a horrible person and I can't be friends with you.
Right.
That just seems so childish and absurd to me. And you're seeing it a lot right now because of, the thing with ICE going on and, deportations and whatnot. People are going, hey, if you agree with this or you voted for Trump, I can't be your friend.
But that comes from a whole different space too. That comes from a space of fear. And fear can be just as powerful as love. Fear can wrap people up in lies and make them believe things that aren't actually truth at all, just because it feeds into the fear. But when you start to have conversations and actually open your curiosity a little bit, I think it can get really, really interesting and we can connect more. I think us as a human race, we have more in common than we have different. And I think it's just so important for us to see each other and hear each other. And it's okay to be different. How boring would this world be if we were all the same? Gosh, disgusting. I would hate it. That would just suck. But you know what? I have a lot of family and friends, for example, that are still Mormon.
Right.
Right? I'm very not Mormon. But I get accused of being Mormon, and it's like
you get accused of it. Like it's, oh my God, no, don't accuse me of
like, do
that.
you know your audience, pass the judgment, but like
God.
because of the name of our podcast, they just see Mormon and think that we're Mormon. Okay, you are. But I am so not.
Well, I've got to hedge my bets.
Okay,
You never know, right?
I know. You have to be safe. And you want the easy checklist. I know you.
Oh, heck yeah. Checklists are great.
But again, people, we have more in common than we have different. And I think that having those important conversations are where it lies, Like I said, I know lots of people that are LDS and I don't have to agree with what they believe in, but I need to respect their journey back to themselves. That's what this life is about. It's our earth school and we're having a journey back to ourselves, learning how to love ourselves. And if it takes you through a celestial room in a temple once in a while, who am I to judge?
Right.
You know what I mean? But also, who is anyone to judge my path? You haven't sat in a room when I've seen ghosts, right? I'm pretty sure most of you would shit your pants if you've seen what I've seen. So, we can respect each other and learn from each other and show love. And I think that that's where it lies. We've got to unite somehow because this world is just getting ripped apart.
Yeah, that's fair. And do you know what? I want to go back to your Mormon thing for just a second, because I struggle with the corporation, right? And I will throw shade at the corporation of the LDS Church all the time. I don't have a problem with that. But that doesn't mean I don't love the people who believe in that. And it doesn't mean that I'm attacking the people who do believe in that.
Absolutely not.
And that's where I think a big hiccup comes, is because people go, well, this is something that I believe in and you're attacking it. So now you're attacking me personally, which it's not at all. The people who believe in that, there's some amazing people and some people that I love very, very much. But again, I don't have to agree with the corporation portion of it.
Absolutely not. And, that's where the word conversation comes in, because those people that you've been friends with that feel attacked because you're attacking a corporation, right? If they had a conversation with you, they might learn some shit. Do you know what I mean? They might realize that it is a corporation and they can still believe the way they want to, but it really is a corporation and they really do make billions upon billions of dollars and they don't help as many people as they should be. But hey, it's a corporation. And I know
Well, that's
you
how
have,
businesses work.
it is,
So-
it is, it's a corporation. And they run it really well. I mean,
Oh, it's-
look at the people that run it.
It's
They're
run
lawyers,
amazingly
they're
well.
doctors, they're business people,
Yeah.
and that's what they do, which is great. But like, you can't put your head in the sand and act like everything's just hunky-dory all the time.
Yeah.
Like, every single man-made religion has an issue. Why can't we talk about them? Why is that so taboo? Believe whatever the heck
Yeah.
you want to believe.
Well, because if
Do you
you
know what I
start
mean?
to talk about them, well, now you're Islamophobic or you're anti-Semitic.
Those are names,
or,
which is so dumb.
Or
Yeah.
you're, an anti-Mormon or
That's the thing that gets
all of
me
the
too.
things.
What I don't understand this, right? I mean, because we have racism with every single color, shape, and creed and religion, right? Why is anti-Semitism the top creamer? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, why is that the buzzword?
Well, because
And why? Because I don't agree with the shit that's happening in Israel. And I have an issue about it. Can we not talk about it? I'm just an anti-Semite. Like, that's just stupid. That just shuts it down and there's no conversations had. And it's like, okay, you call me that, but that just means you don't want to talk about it.
Well, I think it goes back to that whole social media thing, because social media has dictated what people believe and what they're talking about. And one of the big things that social media algorithms are popping through is things about Jerusalem and things about anti-Semitism. And so that becomes the big topic. And that's why she's like, okay, this is the topic. I think they're literally being led by the social media outlets.
Which are led by what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about the oligarchs of the world.
Now you're
and
getting into,
the
okay,
first,
so hang
the
on.
first 12 families,
Here
original
comes
families, and
Here
billionaires.
comes Nan's rabbit holes.
Oh, dude, I have lots of holes.
Yeah. This is not a political podcast.
It is not a political podcast,
This
but we're
is-
talking about conversations, and we should be able to have them. You
Yeah.
know, like it shouldn't. It should be an easier thing to be able to talk about. You know,
That's fair.
like, for example, too. Like, I remember last year, June came around, and it's Pride Month, and believe me, I have nothing against gay people. I have a lot of friends that are gay, and I love them so much. Unconditionally. You love who you love.
That's what everyone who is a bigot says, is they have friends who are.
I don't care. I don't care. But I put up the American flag and I said, this is my pride flag. And I had so many people get pissed at me. Are we not all Americans? Shouldn't we all be proud of that flag? There are a lot of soldiers that bled for that flag. There are a lot of people, and even people in our family that have bled for that flag. Like, shouldn't that be our common ground? Shouldn't that be our pride flag? Be and love whoever you want to, but why do we have to be separate?
Yeah.
I just don't agree with it, and I never will.
Well, and that's a
I don't
difficult
get it.
thing, right? Is because there is a lot of separation. It's divisive sometimes. All of the, hey, we're going to have, we're going to focus on this type of person or this type of person or this type of person, rather than saying, hey, you know what? That's great. They've done some great things, but why don't we focus on the group as a whole a little bit more?
But I think that that's how they separate us. They rip us apart instead of uniting us. Like I said, you love who you love, and no one should place blame there.
Well, it's the whole united we stand, divided we fall.
Exactly. And that is what they're doing to us, is dividing us so we fall. They want the United States to fall.
Well,
I don't.
It's
else
not
are we gonna
just
go?
it's not just the United States. It's people as a whole, right? Like, it's with religions, it's with politics, it's with things as far as medical treatment, even. So it's very the world is dividing up into teams, and rather than being teams against each other, we need to go, hey, we're all the human race. Let's fix this shit together. Instead of going, hey, I agree with Russia, or I agree with Ukraine, or I agree with Palestine, or I agree with Israel. Why can't we just go, hey, let's fix this shit? We don't need to be killing each other at all. There's no reason for that.
Because you have the same corrupt families and corrupt people that have been running things since the 40s and 50s. and probably earlier, and we just don't realize it, that have been eating away at the inside out of everything. And that's why everything is crumbling right now before us. And it's like, but this is what Americans, especially Americans, are made of. We can unite. Out of all of the countries in the world, the United States can unite and stand as a stronger front than probably anywhere else, and can bring the world together. But right now, I'm kind of ashamed. I'm ashamed at the division. I'm ashamed at the lack of giving a shit, from walking into a hospital to walking down the street to assaulting police officers to, do you know what I mean? You don't even respect your elders anymore. Like, where the fuck does that come from? Dude, when I was growing up, you don't respect your elders, you get your ass beat.
Right.
Like, okay, parents, I think you failed some kids there. If they're out there protesting, you need to go grab them by the ear and drag them home.
Well, look, I don't have a problem with people protesting. Go stand on the side of the road, hold your sign. That's awesome. But don't block traffic. That's not protesting. That's causing problems with infrastructure, with everything. That's not helping your cause. That just makes people pissed off. It's like all the people who went and lined up outside of the airport in Minneapolis. Are you shitting me? You're going to make people late for their flights or miss their flights because they don't agree with you, or because you think that
it's literally a 2-year-old temper tantrum.
So go protest, hold your sign, but don't get up in people's faces. Don't blow whistles in someone's ear. That causes permanent damage. If somebody blew a whistle in my ear as I was walking down the street, I would probably punch him in the nose. It's not okay. That is not okay to do. And you're right. These protesters, it's not a protest anymore. It's professional agitators, and they're literally just interfering with investigation. And obviously, I've got a little different perspective of that kind of stuff than a lot of people, just because of my background. But Jesus, it makes me angry. I see that stuff and it bothers me so much. And I would love to have a conversation with them, but it's like anytime you talk to someone about that stuff, if they're on that side, they just yell at you. I don't want to get yelled at.
But again, it's fear, because they're told to do something and they don't know why they're doing it. Do you know what I mean? So you can't go have a conversation because they don't want to hear it. They'll just run away. But that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm hoping some of them will snag this podcast and think twice, and maybe, look at why you're doing something. And then if if somebody walks up to you and wants to know why you're doing it, have a conversation. Have the conversation.
Yeah.
It isn't going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt anyone. But to get physical, to assault someone, like I wouldn't stand there and have somebody beat on me or, threaten me.
Yeah.
And I definitely wouldn't be the dumb ass that holds the phone taping the whole thing. Are you kidding me? And then doesn't help someone.
You watch someone getting beat
that's
up, or
the person I want to punch.
Yeah, you watch someone get assaulted so you can get a video.
Yeah.
What the hell? Again, it goes back to social media. Oh, I'm going to post this and get clicks. I'm going to go viral and make money because I watched somebody get their ass kicked. That's not okay.
But is that the bottom line? Is money the bottom line?
I think there's a couple of things. I think that goes along with it, but I think there's that status, like you said, and that dopamine rush. Look, I've got 10,000 likes on my video. Oh, I've got 100,000. I've got 1 million likes. And every time somebody hits that button, they go, oh, ooh, look at that. And I think that's a big part of it for them. Hey, and look, to be fair, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But to be fair, I like it when people click like on our videos or on our podcast. That's awesome. So I understand that feeling.
Right.
But there's more to life, and you have to have a set of values that dictate your actions. It can't be a set of values that you borrow from someone else who tells you this is what you should believe.
So in other words, we should be truthful with the shit that we post. I'm challenging everybody out there, instead of posting stuff that's not true, post shit that is true. Show us your colors. Who are you really? Be honest. Be really, really dead honest about stuff. And if you see people that are taping stuff that they shouldn't be and should be helping someone, like a police officer, say something, do something, but be the action. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't feed into this fear. It is just ripping us apart, and we're better than this. We are better than this. It's crazy to me. It's so crazy. I was gonna tell you about. I kind of got a little bit attacked because someone decided to judge me about being a psychic medium.
Oh, this is the Facebook message you got.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And she didn't believe in that at all, which is fine. I don't have a story about that.
Well, a lot of people don't, right? It's hard.
No,
it's hard for people to comprehend that. It's hard for me to comprehend sometimes. And I've had things happen that I go, oh, well, shit, that just happened to me. I can't deny it. And I've seen it happen with you too. So, but it's hard for a lot of people who haven't had that experience.
No, believe me, I completely understand, because every time I go into a reading, I'm like, you better show up. You know, they always show up and things always go smoothly. And I'm always shocked that everything's, I mean, I always learn something new. But people think that, especially when you're coming from a religious lens and that fear, they think that this is evil.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've been called by spirit to do it, this isn't something. Psychic medium stuff is not something that I have chosen to do.
Right.
It chose me. It found me.
Like the gangster
and
life.
I like the what?
Like the gangster life. You didn't choose to be gangster.
I like what do you do? Do you know what I mean? It's like being a widow. That chose me. I didn't choose that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It chose me. And so it's like when it gets sat in your lap, what do you do with it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to do in the beginning, but I've taken 12 years to make it a strength instead of being afraid of it.
Well, you've done a lot of training, a lot of studying.
So much.
You've worked with a lot of people who were fantastic mentors for you. So you've put a lot of thought into how this all plays out just because it dropped in your lap and you had to figure it out.
It's true. And you know, I'm the biggest skeptic. Like, I'm a respiratory therapist. I'm a critical thinker, and I call bullshit on everything until I can prove it over and over and over. And the psychic medium stuff that I do, I have been able to prove over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have a story about it. That's why I always say I love cynical people. Of course, you have to be open to a reading because you have to open your energy to that.
Right.
But, you know, come in not thinking that spirit's going to come through, but wanting it to, and find out what happens. Holy shit. It shocks me. Some of the stuff that comes through. It's like, okay, I'm getting freaked out right now.
Right.
Like this stuff that comes through, because there's no way I would know it. But spirit always is honest and doesn't pull any punches and always does things wrapped in love. For example, if I have a sitter who has had someone pass through a gunshot wound, like Corey, they don't show me that. Because I sat in Corey's police car with the blood everywhere, and it would take me back to that trauma. Spirit doesn't show that.
Why did you do that? What made you choose to do that? Because that seems like something that is such a traumatic situation to put yourself into.
It really, really was. And it's something that, and like, I'll never forget the smell and the feeling and everything. But what had happened is the Utah County Sheriff and the people on the board and with the commission, they decided they were going to take Corey's police car that he had been murdered in, and they were going to strip it down and put it back together and put it back out on the road.
Oh, Jesus.
And I let a couple of officers across the United States know that I had made friends with on the Police Unity tour.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I rode this tour with 1,200 officers.
That's the 300-mile bike ride.
300-mile bike ride. We did 100 miles a day in 3 days. From Newark, New Jersey into Washington, D.C. to the Police Fallen Officers Memorial, where I saw Corey's name. But I let them know, and it is known that if an officer is killed in his police car, you either destroy it, or there's one in the United States, one at the time, I don't know now, but at the time, there was only one, and it was at a police academy. It was used for training, and a light was shined on it, and there was an officer assigned to stand by it day and night.
Wow.
They would take shifts because it was an honor thing. They haven't lost enough. They haven't been back east enough to know what that honor and sacrifice really, really, truly is. I think that they're learning a little at a time, but I think that they forget. Once, the family has moved on and they're out of sight, out of mind, they don't think about it. But when it comes to the police car that day, it was actually out by the road where officers could drive by on the main road and public could.
Oh.
And you could see it.
Yeah, that's
and
not okay.
it was in the heat of the day and you could smell it. And so you could see the 8 shots in the front of the car from the road as the public could pass by. And I was like, oh no. And so my mama bear popped out.
Why would they put it there like that?
I don't understand why.
That should be something that's...
But I walked into the road shops and I said, you need to move that police car out of the sight of other officers and out of the sight of the public. And they said they weren't going to, that they would need a forklift and stuff to move it because the engine had been shot up and stuff. And so that they couldn't move it. And I said, you are going to move this or I'm not going to get out of it. And I went out and I got in it and I sat there. And I sat there and I sat there until pretty soon I was surrounded by police officers trying to get me out and I wouldn't get out. And they finally had to go in and be like, she is not getting out. You need to move it. And it finally got moved to the very, very back, but they had to go get a forklift to do it. And in the meantime, I sat there for probably a good hour inside the car, smelling, nothing had been touched. The blood was everywhere. The shots were there. Everything was there. And I'll never forget it. So when spirit talks to me, it doesn't take me back to anything, any blood through a gunshot. It doesn't show me that. I'll feel it. I'll feel like the burning of where the gunshot went. And that's how I know. That's my clue from spirit. But it's been so gentle and teaching me just a little at a time. Spirit uses your alphabet of your life. So things that you know, that's how it's going to speak to you. And it's a huge learning curve. And every single time I learn something new, and I know I go into you and I'm like, it's amazing. And that's the thing. When things are happening like they are in the United States and the world right now, we find peace and truth through spirit. And we all have the same gifts I have. I've just been forced to develop mine because of the trauma that I've gone through. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I really feel like this is my saving grace next to you, of course, hot stuff.
Of course, I'll take all the credit.
You were my best friend. You've been through all of it. But yeah, no, it's so important. But this person that kind of let me have it about my gifts, after I had a conversation, she was like, oh my gosh, now I'm curious. I want to know about your story. And we left on a really good note. And I told her, I said, I'm not trying to change your belief system. And I respect your belief system, but you should respect mine too.
Yeah. And I think that's fair. And I was really happy when you told me how well it resolved. That was impressive on both sides. Because look, you're an Aries and sometimes you can be a little bit nasty with your words.
I have a sharp tongue and a fiery temper.
Yeah.
But I am an Aries and I will butt heads with anybody if I know I'm right. I will. I'm a warrior. But I've earned my warrior.
Yeah, you have.
I think I'm a lot calmer now that I'm getting older. I think I handle things a lot better. I'm not such a hothead. But and if you notice, I'm dropping less F-bombs. I only did one in this whole thing.
Did you? I'll have to count now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and count. I really am. Because I don't buy that. No, I don't buy that for a minute.
Hey, Bradley.
I know you better than that. Is that the measure of a good person, is how many F-bombs you use?
It just depends. I mean, sometimes there's no better word. So yeah.
I do agree with that. Sometimes that's the right word to describe the right thing that's happening at the time, or the right person.
Yeah, like a fucktard. Oh my gosh, it's one of my new words.
That's a very descriptive word.
There's a lot of fucktards out there.
On that note, I think we probably ought to shut things down. Do you want to draw a card for this week?
Okay.
All right, let's see what you got.
The one that was stuck in the bottom of the box was the Fool. We're just going to go with that one.
The Fool.
The Fool.
Okay.
Kind of a dark deck, but I like it.
You like dark decks?
I do. You know, they all have a feel to them. Have you ever noticed that? The tarot cards and the other cards all have a feel. I have 27 decks. I kind of collect them. And there's some out there that I really want. I gotta get a couple more. But yeah, the Fool. I think it's very poetic because of what we've been talking about.
Right.
Don't be a dumbass.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's perfect. Don't be the fool. Learn to talk, learn to be curious, learn to embrace other opinions and people and appreciate them for who they are.
Well, and be brave enough to be curious and go on new journeys. You know, be willing to grow instead of being stagnant in fear. It's really easy, because fear can be so familiar, to get stuck there, or old beliefs, or even pain can be something that's familiar. And what would my life be if I weren't afraid? What would my life be if I weren't anxious? What would it be if I didn't have pain? Guess what? You don't have to have any of those things. Life is so good and so beautiful and so full of love, and we should unite together and share that.
I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for listening in. We sure appreciate you, and we hope that you have a fantastic week, and we'll see you
on the other side of the veil.